Okay, so imagine this. Baseball, but it's stripped of everything it's become today. There's no billion-dollar deals, no perfectly curated highlight reels, and there's no social media machines behind every player. Just raw, imperfect human competition. Dusty ballpark, a handful of guys nobody else wanted, and a shot, maybe their last, to prove they still belong. Now imagine that team isn't backed by a corporation or a system, but by one guy who just loves the game. That's the world of the battered bastards of baseball. And set in the 1970s, it follows the Portland Mavericks, a now defunct minor league baseball team owned by Bing Russell, the father of actor Kurt Russell, right there in the dugout and clubhouse. And these weren't polished prospects. These were cast-offs, guys cut from other teams, players labeled done. And somehow, against all odds, they built something that felt bigger than baseball. There's something about this film that's just charming. It really pulls at the heartstrings in a way that kind of sneaks up on you, because underneath all the wins and losses, it's not really about baseball. It's about people. It's about the community it's creating. It speaks to the essence of what sports is supposed to be: connection and the memories you build through teamwork and competition. And more than that, it feels like a time capsule. It larks back to a simpler era when something like this could actually exist, before everything became hyper-structured and profit-driven, before sports turned into constant content. Because when you watch this now, it's impossible not to compare it to something like Banana Ball, this modern, commercialized, entertainment-first version of the game built to maximize engagement and revenue. And the Mavericks, they were the complete opposite. They were messy, they were unpredictable, they were real. And that authenticity is what makes their story so genuine and what makes it hit so hard. Now, getting into the deeper analysis of the film itself, as compelling as the story is, the documentary doesn't always go as deep as you want it to. There are moments where it feels like it's circling the same emotional beats, leaning heavily into the feel-good narrative without really expanding the scope. You start to notice a bit of repetition, especially in how the story is framed and revisited. And where it really feels like a missed opportunity is in the lack of grit from this film. These players weren't just underdogs, they were outcasts, and it feels like we're missing that. A lot of them had complicated pasts, they'd been rejected by the system, and they were simply just trying to claw their way back into relevance in the game. The film touches on that, but it doesn't really fully explore it. You don't always get the deeper interviews or raw stories that would give that truly authentic indie feel. It's also important to mention that the film was directed by Bing Russell's grandson, which naturally shapes the perspective, and you can feel that. There's a certain softness to the storytelling, a tendency to protect the legacy rather than fully interrogate it. It reminded me of The Last Dance and Michael Jordan's influence on it, and some of the less flattering or more complicated aspects of the team and its players, it feels noticeably absent. Then there's the music. At first it works, it adds to the nostalgic tone, but over time it becomes repetitive, and at certain points even a little bit distracting. It starts to underline emotions that the story could have carried on its own. It simply just didn't need it. But even with all of that, the film still lands, because at its core, it's something real, something that feels deeply rooted in American culture. That idea of second chances, of building something meaningful out of nothing, of finding your people when the world writes you off. It's not a perfect documentary. It definitely could have been deeper and grittier and maybe taken some more risks, but it's heartfelt and it's engaging. And it reminds you why sports matter in the first place. So overall, I think it's a great watch. I would give The Battered Bastards of Baseball a 3.5 out of 5. And yeah, it's available on Netflix, so go check that out if you're interested.